Have you ever asked yourself why once your hair hits shoulder length, it stops growing? Trust me, you're not alone. I was in that situation. My hair was at my shoulder length, like right here, for a long period of time. And I also know a number of people who are complaining that their hair doesn't go past shoulder length. And that is why many also think that those people who have been able to grow their hair past shoulder length, it has to do with genetics. That is not entirely true. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the secret causes to the reason why your hair is still at shoulder length or stopped at a particular length, and how to overcome it to achieve the healthy long hair that you are aiming for. So for those of you who may not know what hair growth plateau is, I like to put it this way. It's that situation whereby your hair is actually growing, but it's breaking at the same rate at which it is growing. And so it remains at a particular length for a long time and you're not seeing any growth. That is actually you not seeing any length retention. Now, these are the causes of what I like to call the shoulder length growth plateau. One of the reasons why you're not retaining length is because your hair is breaking. But that may not be just the reason. There are different things, different factors that might be the reason why your hair is breaking. I mean, your hair don't just stay and it just breaks off just like that. There are some reasons, either artificial, induced, or probably health related. Things we do are actually causing our hair to break. So anything could be the cause of hair breakage, but I like to list a few things which I feel are the most common reasons why a lot of people break their hair, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. So one of those ways is the use of detangling tools. I was using a wide tooth comb when I started my hair care journey, and it helped me for a while until I felt like, no, I mean, it's been a few years, but I see growth, but it wasn't satisfying enough. So this is the white tooth comb that I was using. This is the first white tooth comb I got immediately I started my hair care journey in 2020, when after my big chop, and it's still here because I don't use it. So you can see this is a white tooth comb. So I was using that until I decided to stop using any tool at all, and I was strictly finger detangling my hair. The first time I tried using a brush, like it was a big mistake. So I'm going to try and look for that video. I tried to use a tangle teaser just simply because I saw people using it and I wanted to try it. So yeah, it made my hair feel smooth. You know how you brush your hair and it feels silky and smooth, but it was detrimental, like it was bad for my hair. So this was the tangle teaser that I used. I still have it. So since then I just kept it, and I don't use this anymore. So I've ditched using tools on my hair. I don't use it anymore. I've been doing strictly finger detangle, and that is when I started seeing massive length retention. So they are not entirely bad, you know, but for me, I'm just saying, for me, it doesn't work. I don't think that is something I want to ever go back to, because finger detangling is doing great for me. But for you, you might not be able to do without using tools, but the way you use it is very, very key. The way you use it, because I see some people, they're using brush and they're just going, you know, straight, and my God, this is going to break off any tangles on your hair. So what I would typically advise people is that use your fingers first to detangle, you know, make sure there are no knots, there are no tangles, then before going in with a brush or a white tooth comb. And when you're doing that, make sure you're starting from the ends, gently, you know, doing that, combing from the ends, so that make sure that you're not ripping off any, you know, hair, because some of the knots we meet at the ends of our hair, you can easily separate them, you know, one after the other, and you see that you don't have to break any hair. But once you're just using a comb or a brush and just walking through your hair, this brush and combs, they don't feel for knots or less heavy knots, but those tiny knots that you can easily use your hands to separate, they don't feel for it, so they just go straight, and your hair is breaking. And once your hair is breaking in that manner, trust me, you're going to be at a particular length for as long as you refuse to find out what is actually breaking off your hair. So that is one, which of course there are people who use these tools and have been able to grow their hair. Those are the people I like to think that they've been able to master the art of using these tools very gently and not just using it to rip off their hair out. So like I say, I'll always be an advocate for finger detangling, but if you must use a tool, please use your fingers to separate them first before you actually go in with any of this. Another thing that might be causing your hair to be stuck at a particular length is the kind of hairstyles that you do. So whether you like it or not, there are some hairstyles that you don't even want to dream about doing. So I came across a video recently on Facebook, and a lady that has gone to make African threading, and it was looking all beautiful, but this hair was all shades of tension. Like there was so much tension on the hair. She actually made the hair and went back home, but she lost that hair that same very day because she couldn't bear it. It was painful. According to her head was vibrating, and I'm like, what? In this time and age, are there still people who feel like making hairstyles that are very tight is a normal thing? Why should you subject yourself to that kind of, you know, heartache? Because it's definitely an heartache that will give you a headache. I mean, I don't know when tight hairstyles became the prerequisites for beauty and all that. So please, tight hairstyles are going to damage your hair. They are going to damage your hairline. They are going to hurt your scalp. They are going to pull out your hair forcefully. So this is not the aspect where you see your hair falling and you say it's hair shedding. That is no hair shedding. That is your hair actually ripping out from its roots because of tension. So stay away from tension. And another thing, very important thing that I like to talk about is how do you protect the ends of your hair. That is one way to really guarantee that your ends never break. So what I do with the ends of my hair, I give this part of my hair the most moisture. So anytime I'm moisturizing the ends of my hair, I go the extra mile. It's like my oils and my butters, that is where they go to, because I want to make sure that place is very moisturized. I know when they are moisturized, there's little or no friction between the hair, between your ends. You know what causes knots that eventually breaks our hair is the fact that when they are able to coil up together and roll together, they form knots, and those knots eventually breaks off. This is the ends of my hair. It looks very juicy. Like there's not even arguing that. It looks very juicy. It looks very well moisturized. That is how I've been able to preserve the ends of my hair. So why most people are stuck here, their hair is always here. And remember, your clothings and whatever you're putting on, they are not silk. They are cottons. They are made of different materials, some of which are trapping the ends of your hair, causing a lot of friction, and that is why your hair is breaking. So you do want to watch out for those tools that I mentioned. Make sure you learn the proper way to use them if actually you must use them, and if you can't, please use your fingers. These are the tools God has given us, and this helps us to better see those knots and tangles that can otherwise break the ends of our hair. So but if you can't manage with your hands and you have to use a tool, learn the proper way to use those tools so that they are not setting you back on your hair journey. With the right care, with the right technique, with the right information, it is very possible to overcome the shoulder length growth plateau. That is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you've been able to learn one or two things. If you did, kindly give this video a huge thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share this video to someone who might be in need of this information, and turn on your notification bell so that each time I upload a video, you'll be notified. Till I come your way in my next one. Bye bye.